in the day.
Back in the days.
I remember back in the day.
Do you remember back in the days?
Back in the day.
Young Trigger the time.
Back in the day.
Big oldies on me. Remember back in the days, cruising bombs, Whittier Boulevard, you knew it was on. Raider jackets and Raider hats, crease bandanas hanging out the pocket in the back. Life in the barrio ain't really changed. It's the same for the youngsters growing up today. There was a time when I was a teenager. I was 13 when I got my first pager. Life in the hood, so rough, so tough. Stealing bikes to make some money, and never enough. Sneaking into the movies, trying to pick up. Getting chased by the cops cause I didn't give a fuck. Suspended for school, living life as a fool. My uncle told me, you better straighten up. I remember the times, now that I know what's up. I remember back in the days, growing up in the hood, always up to no good, up to no good. I remember back in the day, getting into fights on the bus, living life so rough, so tough. I remember back in the days, stealing candy from the shops, getting chased by the cops, chased by the cops. I remember back in the days, hanging out at the park, staying out after dark, after dark. Remember back in the days, backseat of a Regal, over color Supreme. Man, that was a dream, chasing after girls in the mini skirts. A little player breaking hearts, didn't care if it hurts. That's the way we live in the barrio. Dropping lyrics to this beat on the stereo. Cutting class every day cause I thought it was fun. Do you remember the first time that you heard a gun? Crash units on the street, day and night, running around with the homies. Always getting into fights, always getting high with the homies. On the calles all the time with the homies. Living life like a G, 213, the veterano homies. Know what I mean? Remember back in the days, simple and clean. I remember back in the days, growing up in the hood, always up to no good, up to no good. I remember back in the day, getting into fights on the bus, living life so rough, so tough. I remember back in the days, stealing candy from the shops, getting chased by the cops, chased by the cops. I remember back in the days, hanging out at the park, staying out after dark, after dark. Remember back in the days, 3 flowers, hair nets, all them gangster girls banging to get respect. Remember Shy Girl, Morena, giggles and whispers, baby girl, all the fathers wanted to get with her. All the female hiders with their gangster ways, dedicated to you, cause I know you don't play. Crease sticky suspenders and white tees, white beaters, aquanettes, even some had jerseys. Smile now, cry later, hanging on the wall. All the pretty girls, whether you're short or tall, keep your head up, don't let no one get you down. Always smile, live your life, stay down for the brown. In case you didn't know, you got love from me. Don't trip on these little fake wannabes. I remember living life, life is a G. I remember back in the days, growing up in the hood, always up to no good, up to no good. I remember back in the day, getting into fights on the bus, living life so rough, so tough. I remember back in the days, stealing candy from the shops, getting chased by the cops, chased by the cops. I remember back in the days, hanging out at the park, staying out after dark, after dark. I remember back in the days, I remember back in the days, I remember back in the days when I was young. I'm not a kid anymore, but sometimes I stop and wish I was a kid. I remember back in the days, I remember back in the days, I remember back in the days when I was young. I'm not a kid anymore, but sometimes I